Hello, welcome back to Everlasting Summer. I went to the clubhouse. There's a lot of content in this. I recorded 30 minutes last episode, and it felt like a lot. To tell the truth, I never really liked extracurricular activities. At school, I used to find any excuse to skip extra classes. At university, I had no interest in participating in the student council. I wasn't interested in boxing, aero modeling, or sewing. So I came here just to check off the box. Nobody was there. I found myself in something like a hut of a junior robot enthusiast. There were wires and simple printed circuits scattered everywhere, chips, and on the table proudly stood an oscillograph. Graph. I heard voices from another room, and then two pioneers appeared. Oh, one was electronic, the other one I didn't know. Hi, Semyon, we've been expecting you. Seems he knows everything about everyone. Why were you expecting me? Well, of course, because you came to sign up to our cybernetics club, didn't you? He didn't let me answer. And this is Shurik, he's in charge here. I assume there's only two of you in the club? Well, you can say that it's three now. Shurik came up to me and assertively offered his hand. His face was somewhat familiar. Welcome to the club. Yep. Now I'll show you around. Make yourself at home. Guys, I just wanted to... We're always welcoming new members. He said it in such a way that the anthem of the Soviet Union suddenly started playing in my head. It's amazing. I even remembered the words in the first grade. I had a textbook with the lyrics in the back. No, I just wanted you to sign my checklist. Yep, you sign up to the club, we'll sign your checklist. He grinned. I was getting ready for a long and boring argument, but then I heard someone enter. I looked back and saw Slavia. Semyon, I hope they're not giving you any trouble. She narrowed her eyes, looking at the future of the motherland's robotic industry. I know these two, they can. Well, actually, I just need to get my checklist signed. I decided to take advantage of the situation. No problem, give it to me. Savia took the paper and marched up to Shurik. Sign it. Hold on, we're not done yet. You're done, sign it now. She gave Shurik such a threatening look that it made him lose every possible objection. He wrote some squiggles on the checklist. I think Slavia, then I moved on in a mellow mood. Nice. So we went to the clubhouse, talked to people there, and now I can go to another place. Ooh. How about that kitchen? Nonetheless, I decided to go have lunch. The checklist isn't going to run away. I'll get it signed later. While my stomach cleared, it won't wait till dinner. With these thoughts, I entered the canteen. There was almost nobody inside. Apparently, most pioneers had lunch already. The lunch lady of impressive proportions provided me with a glorious meal of 3 dishes: a soup, compressed broth, goulash from Lavin to Pavlovich, garnished with potatoes boiled according to the craziest fashion of the 15th century, a periodic table compound. Hardly a menu 5-star restaurant would envy, but I was too hungry to care. After all, compared to my usual meal of ramen or macaroni and cheese, this indeed wasn't too bad. I sat at the nearest table and concentrated on chewing. Huh. My focus was soon disturbed by a sudden mighty slap on my back. I even choked. Liana was standing in front of me with a victorious look on her face. I'll choke the life out of you one day. Catch me if you can. She stuck her tongue out. You tried once and couldn't. Alright, then I'll ambush you somewhere. That's not fair. Look who's talking this fair play. I grinned. Okay, you wait. I'll get some food and come back. We'll eat together. I could do without such company. Better hurry up with my lunch. However, Olyana came back after just half a minute. She had a huge roast beef on her plate and a few large boiled potatoes. Compared to my royal feast. Where did you get that? Gotta know places. She looked at me and grinned with all her 32, wherever she had teeth. I won't stand for this. I never was a master of pranks, and at school I often found myself on the bullied side, but I had to get back at her somehow. And what if Olga Dmitrievna finds out that you're stealing food? I'm not stealing, she flared up. That's what you're going to tell her. I wonder if she'll believe you. And how would she know? Well, that depends on many things. Like what? Liana looked me in the eyes. Bring me a bun, a sweet one. Where am I supposed to get it? Well, the same place where you got all this. I pointed at her plate. She hesitated. Alright, one bun. And promise you won't tell Olga Dmitrievna? You have the word of a pioneer. She ran off towards the kitchen. Without hesitating, I opened the pepper box and emptied it into her drink. Just as I finished, the restless girl came back. Here, you racketeer. Well, looks like she didn't notice. Okay, now who drinks this compote last carries trays? Don't be silly. Silly? Watch me. I won't play these childish games. Look who's talking. I smiled maliciously. You watch me then. 1, 2, 3. She didn't even let me grab my glass and in one quick motion downed her drink. In just 1 second, her expression changed to that of authentic terror. Her cheeks went red and her eyes were about to pop out. She jumped from the table and rushed to the table with the drinking water, spitting and yelling as she went. You. I decided not to wait for her and went outside, giggling to myself while finishing my button. Infirmary. What's the point of visiting an infirmary? My health was fine, and the fresh local air clearly did me some good. I felt fresher than usual, but I just have to visit it. I entered a common infirmary like my school doctor's room. A middle-aged woman sat at the table. Obviously, she was a nurse. She gazed intently at me, assessing me while continuing to write something. Well, hello, Pioneer, said the nurse without being distracted from her work. Good afternoon, ma'am. I have something. Sit down, please. I looked around the room. On the couch. I sat down. Strip, she said all of it with an even tone. What for? To inspect, to oscillate, to check on your health, you know. By the way, my name is Violetta, but you can call me Viola. She turned to me. What are you waiting for? Strip. I have no health issues. I've got this. I neatly gave her the paper. Later, she took the stethoscope off her neck, seeming like she intended to probe me with it. But then someone knocked on the door. The nurse answered unwillingly. Come in. In a moment, the door opened wildly, and electronic rushed inside. Hello, I fell during the football game. Nonsense, of course. I'm okay, but Olga Dmitrievna. There was a massive bruise under Electronic's eye. I doubt that this could be a football injury. Sit down, I'll have a look, she said to him. And you pass me your checklist. The nurse quickly signed it and continued. If something hurts, come to me immediately, Pioneer. I decided not to answer and went out, closing the door behind me. That nurse is certainly something else. Library? Actually, I love reading, but spending my days in the library under the current circumstances was well beyond my scope. So I better hurry up with this checkpoint. As I stepped inside, a memory from my childhood emerged in my head. It was very vivid. I'm 7 or 8 years old. I'm at the library with my mother. Ooh. Oh, what is this story? While she's looking through the books I might need for my studies, I'm sitting in the corner and looking through their collection of comic books. Back then, I didn't know why they had so many, or why couldn't I take some with me. The notion of collected property was something my mind hadn't grasped yet at that age. However, back then, the whole concept of property was pretty hazy to me. This memory seemed even stranger now, while I was standing in this particular camp where they might have managed to build communism in 3 years. Soviet symbolism was all over the place, and the shelves were full of early literature. Of course, I wasn't planning to read any of these. Getting acquainted with a full collection of books by Marx was the last thing on earth I would think of. Where's the librarian? I didn't spend much time looking for her. I looked closely. Short hair, thick glasses, rather cute face. She was snoring so peacefully I couldn't just wake her up. I can wait. If she doesn't wake up in half an hour, maybe then... Oh. I couldn't just sit there, so I took a random book from the nearest bookshelf. Arthur Schopenhauer, The World as Will and Representation. I opened it roughly in the middle and started reading. The life of a man with its endless upkeep, wants, and suffering is to be regarded as the explanation and paraphrase of the procreative act, i.e., the absolute claim of the will to live, and furthermore, it is also the reason the man owes nature his death and thanks with anxiety of this death. Is this not the evidence that our existence involves guilt? At any rate, we always exist, from time to time, paying with death for our birth. We always exist and alternatively bear all the joy and sorrow of life, since neither of both can pass us without some effect. That is the result of our stated will to live. Thus the fear of death, which in spite of all the miseries of life holds us firmly to it, is really elusive, but just as elusive as the impulse which has attracted us into it. This attraction itself may be seen objectively as the mutual longing glances of two lovers, yet it appears the expression of the will to live, and its affirmation, how gentle and tender it is. It wants happiness and quiet pleasure and mild joys for itself, for others, for all. Oh, someone knocked on the door. I closed the book quickly and put it back in its place. What a nice habit, knocking on the door. I should pick it up. It was waiting. Oh, hi. I smiled. I just wanted to return a book. She had the copy of Gone with the Wind that I saw yesterday. Oh, Xenia is sleeping. I'll come back later. I'm awake. Oh. I turned around and surprised to look at her. Oh. She eyed me closely from behind her table. What is it you wanted? I needed you to check here. Oh, give it here. She quickly signed the paper and gave it back to me. She had this look on her face that made me want to keep quiet. Lena came up to her to return her book, I think Xenia, and went out. Oh, okay, I got it. Good. The music club, a small one-level building, was located some distance from the other camp buildings. I opened the door and entered without hesitation. Yay, music club. There were enough instruments for a whole orchestra here, drums, guitars, even a piano. I spent some time looking closely at every instrument, wanting to guess the time period they were from, but suddenly I heard a crawling sound coming from underneath the piano. Oh, a girl. Seems like she was looking for something. She was standing on all fours in such a suggestive pose that I hesitated to speak at first. Excuse me? Who's there? She tried to stand up, but the bottom of the piano prevented her from doing so. Ouch! Oh, you okay? She struggled out. Sorry, I scared you. It's nothing. Oh, you got a checklist. You must be new here? Yes. My name is Miku. No, really, I'm serious. Nobody believes me, but it's my real name. My mother is Japanese. My dad met her when he was building. Well, it wasn't him who was building. He's an engineer. And he was working on a nuclear power plant there, or a dam, or a bridge, whatever. She was talking so fast, she swallowed half the words she tried to pronounce. I'm Semyon. Great, want to be in our club? It's only me here now, but it'll be 2 of us then. Do you play anything? Oh, yes. When I became antisocial, I bought a guitar and learned a few chords, but then I forgot about it since I quit everything that required more than a couple of hours to learn. You know, I wasn't planning to do anything like that easily, or early. Oh, it's okay. I'll teach you. Maybe a trumpet, for example? How about a violin? I know it all, honestly. There's no point in arguing with the orchestra girl, since there was only another cascade of words waiting to blast at me. Does she actually know all of that? If so, that's pretty talented. Hey, I'll think about it. Can you just sign it for now? Yes, sure. Give it to me. Be sure to come around. I sing too. I'll sing you some Japanese folk songs, or maybe if you're not into that, something more contemporary. Sure, thanks. Gotta go now. Of course, come anytime. They turned Hatsumi Miku into a vision level character. The end of her sentence stayed inside. It might be nice to hang around with a guitar in the evening, but in such company. I turned to leave and came face to face with Alyssa. She eyed me suspiciously. Why did you come? The checklist. Got it signed? Yes. Then move it. Alyssa went inside and I hurried to leave the place. Finally, I got all the signatures. Now I had to go back to Olga Dmitrievna and give it to her. She was sitting in front of her cabin reading a book. Doesn't look like a good role model for the perfect pioneer that she was planning to turn me into. I wonder if her responsibilities extended beyond giving fiery speeches at the lineup, scolding Ileana, and getting involved into my moral, physical, and ideological growth. Here. I offered her my checklist. She placed it in her pocket without even looking at the signatures. Great, I could have signed it myself without even going anywhere. Perfect. So you didn't need a nurse? Yes. For some reason her question sent shivers down my spine. Which club have you signed up for? I didn't. I need to think first. That's a pity. It's vital for you to sign in somewhere tomorrow. Of course, sure. Right, it's time to go to dinner. About time. I was getting hungry. I ate at the canteen together with Olga Dmitrievna. I looked at the sky and noticed that sun was already setting. On the porch stood Alyssa, Electronic, Olyana, and Slavia. As we came up, I heard what they were talking about. And never call me Dache again, or you'll get another one. I didn't call you that. You're hearing things. He did. I heard it all. You weren't even there. I was in the bushes. Come on, you guys, stop it. So it wasn't a football injury Electronic suffered earlier today. The nurse did a good job. I couldn't even see his black eye. Olga Dmitrievna came up to them and asked about the ruckus. What happened? Alyssa and Chezelkov. She's gone. I didn't do anything. She shrugged with the antipathy and went inside. Right, dinner time. I entered last. There weren't too many free seats. There were a few free chairs near Alyssa across the canteen, but I'd sooner starve for a week or two than risk my head near her. There was also a seat near Olyana, but I'm not into traditional Chinese, whatever crawls cuisine. Finally, a free chair near Miku. Looks like I'll have to pick my poison. You mind if I sit here? Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, no, I don't mind it. I mean, yes, you can sit here. I sat down. Look, it's buckwheat today. Do you like buckwheat? And chicken? I don't like chicken. Well, not that I don't like it. But if you'd ask me what would I prefer, say stroganoff beef or ragout. No, maybe just a hamburger or rump steak. Do you like rump steak? I'm not that picky about my food. And that's the simple truth. Oh, is that so? But the desserts, you know, they aren't really good here. I like ice cream. Do you like ice cream? I just swept 48 kopecks and Leningrad Skoe. Oh, sorry, I keep talking about myself. Maybe you like Eskimo better? Dinner is starting to get on my nerves thanks to such company. And I'm not the kind of person that can just ignore someone who's talking to them. Even her. We're at the same table after all. Oh, she's friendly. You know, I once bought a waffle cone and started eating, and then you know what? I found a screw there. A real screw. Can you imagine that? Or was it a bolt? I don't really know. Screws are those that you tighten with screwdrivers, and bolts are those that you turn with a wrench. Yes. If there was a speeding contest going on, I'd probably be in the top 3 winners by now. Right, I'll be going. Enjoy your meal. I got up and headed outside. Miku was saying something, but her words were drowned by the crowd of loudly dining pioneers. I went out and sat on the stairs, waiting for my dinner to settle down a bit. I just sat there and watched night falling. Everything is so lively here during the day. Kids laughing and yelling happily, fooling and running around, constant chatter, games going on, and swimming at the beach. But after dark, the camp changes entirely. The sounds of day were swapped for silence, only now and then broken by crickets chirping or a night bird. The camp was going to sleep. In every shadow you could see things, maybe a ghost, or a spirit of the forest, or a wild animal. A human being would be the last thing to expect. That is how it looked last night, and now the locals followed their routine very strictly. In the day, the camp was theirs. In the night, it belonged more to the forces of nature than to humans. Oh, someone touched my shoulder. I looked back. Oh, it was Electronic. Let's go play cards. Cards? Yep, I invented a new game, a good one. Good? Like how? Well, first we gotta find the cards, then I'll tell you. Then go find them, what's the problem? Only Olga Dmitrievna has them, she won't give them to me. Why so? Well, the last time when Olga Dmitrievna and Slavia came out onto the porch. Olga Dmitrievna, Semyon just wanted to ask you about the possibility of getting playing cards. Actually, for what purpose? We invented a new game. Not we, you did. What game? I need the cards to show you. I don't like this. Well, if Semyon is with you, then perhaps it's okay. To be really honest, we'll go fetch them together, Olga Dmitrievna. Yeah, okay. If you don't mind. Sure, let's go. We headed towards my cabin. Roughly halfway there, Swaga stopped. Hey, I just remembered the cards are in my cabin. Good timing. And where's that? It's just down this road. Let's go. We reached a cabin that, in fact, looked more like a trailer. Just wait here a minute. I'll be back. It took her just a few seconds to come back. Oh, there! She showed me a deck of pretty worn out cards. These must be marked in and out. That's unsportsmanlike. What happened to fair play? Tell me about it. It's hard to cheat when you don't know the rules. Shall we go? Let's go. Sure. That's... On our way back, I decided to try and find out something. That's why you have to know the rules. How long have you been here? In this camp? About a week. I see. And where do you come from? I'm from the north. That is... the cold north. She looked at me and smiled. Ooh. Moscow? Looks like nobody in this camp is inclined to answer even the most innocent of questions. I tried to approach from another angle. And what do you like? What do you mean? Well, your hobbies? Oh, I like nature. Strange, she's not very talkative today for some reason. No, she is. Nature, I see. Want to become a natural historian? More like a normal historian? I was always interested in our nation's history. That would suit her very well indeed. It appeared that among all the locals, she was the only one who had nothing to hide. What if she came here just like me and simply could not trust anyone enough to tell? I tried testing the waters. And why did you choose this camp? I didn't. My parents got a voucher for me from their work. Another failure? Well, if you could choose? It's nice here. I don't think I would choose some other place if I could. Here, it's like you were becoming another person. That wasn't how I saw it. What do you mean another person? It's just that there's so many possibilities. You can learn so much. So many new, interesting people here. Now she started to sound like our chief, which raised a red flag for me. I decided to stop with the questions for now. Oh, when we came back, Olga Dmitrievna told Slavia. I just remembered that the cards were at your place. It's okay, we got it. Good, good. Slavia and Olga Dmitrievna went inside. I was going to fall, but someone grabbed my hand. Alyssa. Her gaze sent a shiver down my spine. Not a nice one. You want something? I asked carefully. You're going to play this stupid game. Yes? Something wrong with it? Nope, nothing. She was turning to leave, but then slowly looked back and smiled. So you play cards? A little? I couldn't figure out what she wanted. So only direct and that's it? As if you're a poker star? Well, yes, technically. Then you don't have a chance. Why? Because. So you know the rules? Of course. Well, then you'll have the upper hand. I couldn't see why we go on talking and motion towards the door. Why do you keep trying to leave? Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Let's make a bet. What do you mean? You're such a slowpoke. The cards, what else? And what do you want to bet on? That I'll win. That's quite a possible outcome. I agreed calmly. So, are you afraid? No, I'm not. I'm not big on bets when I don't like my chances. And you're not big on taking risks, too. Such an astute observation, I'm impressed. Right then, No, you're not. Now what? I sighed in exhaustion. She was starting to annoy me with her rubbish talk about some pointless bet. If you won't bet with me, I'll tell everyone that you tried to seduce me. What? You heard me. I could imagine her doing this. Don't be stupid. Who's gonna believe you? I've been here less than 2 days. Besides, want to try your luck? Right. And what will happen if I win? I won't tell anyone anything. And if I lose, slowpoke mode again? I'll tell everyone you tried to seduce me. I told you already. So you're telling me now that I have to work to prove that I didn't do something when I didn't actually do it? If that's how you want to look at it. Not a simple decision. On the one hand, it was stupid to agree. I didn't know the rules and gambling wasn't my thing. On the other hand, she could really make my life hell. Then again, can I even trust her? She can do it even if I win. So, have you made a decision? I was going to answer, but suddenly Lena came around me and from behind. What? Nothing? Lena hurried inside. So? Okay. Sounds fun. I may regret it 100 times. Fine, I'll do it. She smiled. But if I win? Yeah, all fair, no cheating. Alyssa turned, went up the stairs and inside the canteen. Why am I doing this? Because she can set me up regardless if she wants to. Since she decided to anyway. I let out a heavy sigh and followed her through the door. Inside, everything was ready. A few pioneers stood here and there, chatting. The tables were moved out of the way to make room for players and spectators. I looked around. Something was going on in the far corner. When I came closer, I saw a large piece of paper with a diagram drawn on it. My name was among the players. And who came up with all this? I patted Electronic, who was standing near. Well, of course, it was your most humble servant. He bowed to me jokingly. That made me uncomfortable to the point of squirming. And why in the world am I among the players then? I was disappointed. A few seconds ago I thought I still had a slim chance to evade this tournament, that I wouldn't have to fear Alyssa's revenge for losing the bet with her. But now that hope was gone. It was pure coincidence. Yeah, right, coincidence, except that I was already acquainted with every one of the contestants. While there were a few dozen other pioneers standing in the room. I was seized by anxiety. It's the feeling of being watched while standing in an empty room with no windows and doors. Will there be a prize? I asked him lazily. I wanted to distract myself with a pointless conversation. Electronic was just about to answer when Olga came out of nowhere and started jumping around him. Prizes! Prizes! I heard something about prizes. Do you know what is the main ethos of the Olympic Games? What? No. You'll understand when you grow up. She made a wry face and jabbed Electronic in the ribs. So what about the prize? Well, I don't know. It's not up to me. He made a helpless gesture. Really, if they came up with this stupid game, at least they could give the winner a chocolate medal or something. Liana suddenly jumped and raced off to somewhere. I wish I was that optimistic. So what about the rules? Wait a bit. Not everyone is here yet. I looked around canteen. Alyssa, Savia, Lena, Miku, and Shurik were here. Seems like everyone is here. Not everyone. Xenia isn't here. Does he feel uneasy, or is it just me? She's not here, so what? Pick someone else instead. No, I can't do that. He answered slowly. I decided not to ask exactly why he can't do what can't he do this. Well, go fetch her or something, I don't know. Well, he can't go. He's the host of the event. The camp leader appeared as if from nowhere. But Olga Dmitrievna, Electronic whined. Semyon will go. Right, Semyon? She looked at me and smiled. Of course, who else? Where is she? In the library, I guess. Okay. I dragged my feet towards the door. Please hurry. What's Electronic's problem anyway? Night is coming soon. I was going to take my time, so I slowly paced towards the library. But I found Xenia before I even expected. She was sitting on a bench at the square, staring at Genda, who was silent as always. Oh, what are you doing here? Everyone is looking for you. Sitting here, as you can see. She frowned. Well, let's go. I don't want to. She looked away. Why not? I don't want to. I sat beside her. Listen, I don't like the idea of this contest myself, but we can't let everyone down. I surely didn't sound like myself there. A couple of days ago, I wouldn't even think of saying something like that. Xenia looked at me with surprise on her face. So everyone is waiting for me? Isn't that exactly what I said? Yes. I won't go anyway. She frowned and hid her face. But why? I gestured with my arms, wondering. I don't know how to play cards. So what? Oh, same problem here. Then how can you play? What, you can only do things that you read about in books or something? Of course. She was surprised. And what if you end up in Antarctica and have to rely on hunting polar bears to survive? Polar bears don't live in Antarctica. Xenia smiled. Doesn't matter, it's just an example. Come on, it's not like someone's life depends on the result. She took her time to think. I just don't want to let anyone down. Right. I agreed sarcastically. Don't you think anything funny about that? I didn't get what she meant, but anyway. Obviously, everyone has their weak spots. In a minute, we both were back at the canteen. Everyone looked at Electronic. So, he cleared his throat. Each round consists of one game. In case of a draw, you replay the game. After this, the loser drops out and the next round begins. Since the number of volunteers, he looked at me, since the number of players is just 8, we'll have only 3 rounds. Is everything clear? The crowd cheered. Yay. And what are the prizes? The prizes, what are they? Olyana, cut it out. Savia stepped forward and tried to catch Olyana. I won't rest until the prize is mine. Seems like this girl alone had enough energy for a warp jump to Alpha Centauri. Prizes, prizes. She repeated it over and over. Stop it. Savia tried to reason with her. Electronics seemed to be getting dizzy from all this running around. Let's start already, I said calmly and added to Olyana, or you won't get any prizes. Looks like my argument got through to her, so she took her place. Savia followed her, giving me a grateful smile as she passed. The pioneers finally settled down. Ooh. I approached the lit table that Lena sat behind. This will be fun, right? You don't mind? She looked up and blushed. Don't worry, I don't know the rules myself. And how can I be sure that it's not only myself? I sat down. Turns out we'll have to play the first round together. Yes. Finally, Electronics started to explain the rules. Look at the cards carefully. There are exactly 6 of them in front of you. I hope everyone here knows how to count. Now you can look at them. After everyone had a look at their cards, Electronic moved on. The rules are similar to poker. I hope everyone knows how to play. I knew the rules, but wasn't so sure about the others. First of all, it's a top card, then 1 pair, 2 pairs, and 3 of a kind. And so on. No flushes or straights, though. In the first round, you choose a card which you would like to take from your opponent. In turn, your opponent can choose to swap 2 of his cards around twice. Or he can choose not to do so if he doesn't need the card which you are taking. Take a note here that your opponent can see which cards are trading places. In the next step, your opponent takes the card he chooses, and so on. I think it's pretty clear. It wasn't too clear to me. Hey you, Einstein! Olyana yelled at him from her table. I didn't get a thing! He'll figure it out as we go. Electronic went to the table with the diagram, leaving Olyana to smolder in solitude. You go first. I hoped I could get my mind around the game fast enough. Lena, more perplexed than usual, reached out for my cards. Ooh, in the middle of the table, her hand stopped. Will you... Oh, yeah, I should be protecting my card. What was it Electronic said? To try to confuse my opponent, I can swap 2 of my cards. Twice. Or I can choose not to. Should I protect it or not? By the way, I can also agree and give her the card she chose straight away. Otherwise, Lena can change her mind and take another card if she wants to. Or she might not. Ooh, that one looks good though. How about I switch? Okay, that's good. That's all I'll do. Right? I'm ready. Let's do it. Things were becoming clear. Or at least comprehensible. Now it's my turn. I can take back my card from her, or I can choose another one. How about this one? Lena can try and protect her card, but if I watch her closely, I can take the card I choose regardless of her movements. Yeah, still got it. Right? I made it. Oh. Electronic, who was silently watching our game, nodded in approval. Looks like now we're getting somewhere. Oh, now, during the round, opponents trade cards 3 times. Keep an eye on each other. Penetrate your opponent with your eyes. I chuckled. Penetrate. What's so funny? Quiet. Never mind. I tried to keep a straight face. He stared at me for a moment, then moved on. And then we turned the cards up to see whose hand is better. Electronic went back to his diagram. Wait, different cards. These weren't the same cards I had first time. Really? Nah, I'll just let her take that. That's okay. Oh, okay, so that was a practice round, and now I'm really playing, I think, right? I'll take that one. So they get 2 switches. Yeah. Neat. Well, these are pretty too. I'll switch. And now she wants to take that one. Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's okay. And I press X when I'm done, right? I'll take the middle one. Oh no. Oh, these are so pretty. Neat. Uh. Switch. Oh, I like that one though. That's good. I don't know. Sure. Oh, this is cute. This is really cute. What is that? I don't get it. Okay, I failed. Um. Hmm. A. Yeah, I think she has 2 A's. I have 2 2's. Yeah. Oh, it's so frustrating to lose anyway. Oh, I left the canteen. It was still too early to sleep, and a short walk looked like a good idea. Where should I head to? Whoa! Where should I go? I mean, the beach does sound fun. Sure. I came to the beach. I was not in the best mood, and I really had no desire to swim, but I still came to the water's edge and tried the water with my hand. The water was warm. Seems like it was still cooling down after such a hot day. Well, perhaps some other time I'll come back to swim. For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. There was no light in the window, so Olga Dmitrievna must have been sleeping already. Strangely enough, she waited for me yesterday. Oh, I entered the cabin, quietly stripped, and laid on the bed. When you think about it, my situation hadn't gotten any clearer today. In fact, I spent the whole day doing useless stuff I would have never even thought about doing something like this in the real world, although I had plenty of time. How much time I would have here in total is still a mystery. Maybe an eternity, or maybe there are only a few minutes left. I just didn't want to think about the past, about how I got to this camp. For the first time in a long while, I felt really tired. Not only emotionally tired, but also physically tired, psychologically tired, and God knows who else tired. I just wanted everyone and everything to shove off, starting with my own thoughts. I wanted this mess somehow to resolve myself, or at least without my active participation. You're gonna have your problem solved without you being that problem. And what if I'm stuck here forever? Then I'll have to get used to it. So just like that, I'm not ready. My consciousness slowly drifted away from me, and it became progressively harder to concentrate on something distinct. Perhaps it's better to wait until tomorrow. I rolled over and fell asleep. I can relate to that. You solved my problem for me. I'm too lazy. The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted both physically and mentally. It happens to me all the time. You see incredibly lucid images in your dream, as if you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well-paid actors, and multi-million-dollar visual effects. And then you wake up in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do, to restore the images shown by my relaxed brain, but that part of my memory was empty, either archived or formatted completely. It's 7 a.m. according to the clock. I seem to be an early bird today. Olga Dmitrievna was still sleeping, wrapping tightly in her blanket. Wrapping so tightly in a hot summer? I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. I'd better shave. Strange idea. Before twice a month was enough, but now nothing depends on the way I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So, breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m., and this means I have plenty of time. Which I can spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up and come back to reality, whether all these events could be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. When I returned to the cabin, Olga Dmitrievna was already up. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing, and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. How come you got up so early? It just happened. And no neckerchief once again. Let me. I'll do it myself, not a big deal, on my way to the canteen. I don't think so. Do it now. Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast? How could I ever forget? And what's the lineup going to be about today? We'll discuss the agenda for the day. So what's the agenda? Frankly speaking, I didn't care for what might be on the agenda for our courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I could manage to avoid enemy locations. You'll find that out at the lineup. She gave me a wily smile. Olga Dmitrievna, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather... Well, I believe that's okay to miss the lineup once. I could get all nasty if I failed to control it right here, right there. Where did all this courage come from? You have 5 more minutes. I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure, I'll try, but just in case it all goes down. Oh, fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course we have a ball in the evening. Watch yourself. You must take part in the camp activities today. You bet. Definitely, and now I'd rather... Come on, let's hit the road. I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga Dmitrievna to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, but the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do with the lineup. Hey, you gotta learn what's going on here. Just do it. After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life today. Cleaning and organizing. That's not what someone in my situation should be doing. 2 days have passed, and I'm still right where I started. All the residents seem to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but those peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. They seem to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical. The illogical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already somewhere. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their familiar lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand that the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay, but this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of the Sovyonok camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved in what's happening to me? Can they give me any answers? Or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? Seems I overdid it a bit with the thinking. There's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9 a.m. That's even better. 2's company, 3's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at an amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Having a breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace. Or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly somebody grabbed me by the sleeve. Xenia, the librarian. Get your meal and come on. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't this a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. Well, this is a hard choice, actually. I feel like I should listen to her. Okay, fine. I'm not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. What if I can learn something new? She is such a bookworm. Huh. A minute later, I was sitting in front of Xenia, with a tray and a simple meal on it. Porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, a sausage, and a glass of compote. Bon appetit. Thanks. I decided to act as politely as I could, and also eat more neatly, without chomping and spilling crumbs of food or drops of compote. So, what do you want to talk about? Today at the library. I wasn't listening from this point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga Dmitrievna's words about the scheduled events for today. Don't forget. Oh, what? I said don't forget to visit the library after lunch. What for? Were you even listening? Nope, I admitted honestly. Xenia's face turned red, then appeared green, then took on a soft purple color. Today, after lunch, you, in the library, got it dunce. Dunce? What kind of curse is that? Though a pioneer must never use a curse word, how could I forget this rule? Oh, yeah, sure, I apologize. Of course, I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning to go anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. I decided to play fair. She looked at me perplexedly and answered, Have you gone completely bananas? Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Xenia didn't reply. So what year is it? I smiled kindly. Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary? Will they tell me what year it is there? Oh, certainly, and even more. Xenia stood up and headed to the exit. Wait, you didn't finish your meal, but it looks like she won't turn back. I was finished chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a twisted pear cable. I wonder if they have internet access here? I guess not. Pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food, it's time to search for some clues. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't had the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Hi there, Pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy, like it sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me to make an inventory of the supply medicine, which arrived today. Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard. But what word could be confused with both? Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do. Medicine, huh? Supplied today. But Olga Dmitrievna told me that no bus would arrive in the next couple of days. So, there were visitors to our camp today? Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? Just curious. Alright then, Pioneer. So tonight, after dinner, you'll be here. Maybe Lena was very noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain visible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. No way, there are lots of boxes. And a Pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer? She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. You know, Olga Dmitrievna asked me to help her tonight. Okay. Nice. That's how a true pioneer should answer. Even after these words, I barely came a step closer to the be prepared, always prepared motto. Then you can go. I looked at Lena, who was still staring at the ground. I guess all that time she spent staring at the ground was enough to learn everything there is to know about the life and habits of different insects. Plus, Lena likes to read, so she probably read many biological, botanical, and so on books. Perhaps she wants to become an entomologist? Ah. Oh, where do we head next? Lena's words drew me away from the obscure thoughts. We've been standing at the square for some time, and my speculations about Bug's lives were only an attempt to escape this awkward situation. Though, why did I see it as awkward? Just don't forget, alright? Don't forget what? Well, tonight after dinner at the infirmary. Her face got a slightly grumpy look to it. No, wait, that's impossible. Alright, right after dinner, I'm at your service. I thought too late, and my words made me blushed even harder. I need to find a way to ease the situation. Why did the nurse ask you to do it? I don't know. I was just sitting on the bench and reading a book when she came and... It's smart to ask a reliable person who would never say no. Okay. Well then, after dinner... Okay. I'll be off then. Yes, sure. She walked off somewhere besides the clubs, and I just stood at the square for some time. So, what's next? I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my phone. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful. Though having a wristwatch is much easier. Suddenly I heard a different tune, which was cutting through the usual noise of the camp. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. 3 repeating chords, no more. But this melody still felt somehow warm, as if a vacuum tube-based audio amplifier was used. Could there be such a luxury here? The sound was definitely coming from somewhere near the stage area. I wonder who that could be. Who cares? I better keep on looking for answers. Whoever that is, what's the big deal? I have better things to do. I came back to the leader's cabin. Olga Dmitrievna was lying lazily on her bed reading a book. Semyon, what are you doing here? That's what I could ask her too. I've forgotten something, so I came back. You were absent at the lineup. Oh, yeah, I apologize. Alright. Nevertheless, you should do something useful today. Just as I planned, but I have my own vision of what useful means. Like, you could go to the square to help with the cleaning. Slavya's in charge there. Strange, I'd just been there and hadn't seen anyone. Or you could visit the boys at the electronics club. They asked me for a hand. Those fathers of invention again. Finally, you could help at the sports club. What are they up to? They're renewing the pitch, fixing the benches, changing the goal nets, and so on. Honestly, none of those options suited me. Why is she always trying to burden me with work? Seriously, except for Slavia, no one ever works here, while some people in particular are enjoying their free time with a youthful spirit. Every one of the leaders' attempts to keep me busy seems to serve only one purpose, to prevent me from finding out my current location. Really, all the deep and vital questions concerning my existence are swept away by a broom, together with all the rubbish and litter. In my case, taking some time to work would probably pay off, but just like someone suffering gangrene and rejecting an amputation, I will stand by my beliefs. You know, I already had my own arrangements. Oh, really? What kind of arrangements? She bucked up. Well, I can't just tell her what I'm really thinking about. On the other hand, why not? No, it's too dangerous. At least now I maintain a fragile balance and nothing is threatening me. Everything seems that way. Just as I thought. What exactly she thought remains secret. You probably have not yet realized how important it is to participate in social life. This is the only way to become a pioneer capable of being a role model. I didn't want to sit through another long lecture, so I decided to accept one of the offers. Sometimes the answers in this world can be found in the most unexpected places. Or at least so I wanted to believe. So, should I choose for you? The leader's voice turned authoritative. I can do it myself, thank you. I mumbled and left the cabin. I'd rather help Slavia. I think I'd assist robots. Fine, I'll help the sports club. Ooh, let's have Slavia. Always choose the lesser of two evils, they say. Well, of three in this case. Slavia wasn't evil at all, so my choice was obvious. Any rational being keeps his house clean, but I usually perceived house cleaning as somewhat akin to gym workouts. Yeah, it's good for you, but not my sort of thing at all. However, I like the ideas of painting benches or of helping two future geniuses of Russian or Soviet science even less. There were about a dozen pioneers at the square. Where did they all come from, I wonder? I approached Slavia. Hi there. Oh, hi, you've come to help? Well, not on my own free will, of course. I thought it over again. I see. Take this broom. Your area is right next to the monument. Frankly speaking, there was nothing to sweep there. It seemed pretty clean to me, though some rubbish was still laying around. After sleeping for a while, I came back to Slavia, who was sitting on the bench and taking a break. What a nice day, huh? Yeah, I thought it's a bit too hot. She shaded her eyes with her hand and looked up at the sky. You're like a tireless worker of communist labor. Ah, come on, I'd just like to help others. That's good. And what about you? What about me? Well, it seems to me that you find community service a bit of a burden. Well, probably. Why is that? I don't really know. Seriously, she can't expect me to just unload all my ideas concerning this point on her. She might drown in them, God forbid. Maybe you just don't like company? That's actually quite possible. There's some truth in Slavia's words. I suppose that she was good at reading other people's minds, or at least at reading mine. Though, how can that be possible if even I find it hard to understand myself at times? What are you going to do when the session is over? What do you mean? Well, are you going to enter college, or do you want to master a profession? Oh. Oh. I've already achieved grand mastery at all my professions, watching anime and surfing the internet. I don't know yet. What about you? We have a small farm back home, so I want to help my parents there. It sounded pretty strange. Are there any private farms in the USSR where all the farming has to be collective? But I decided not to go into details. And what are your parents doing? My parents were not a good subject for discussion. It's not that my parents are not good, quite the opposite. They are kind-hearted people. But it's not the right time for such a discussion. My father works at the local council, and my mother is a teacher. Oh, that wasn't actually true. More like a half-truth. Cool. She really seemed to consider that a cool thing. I guess so. The conversation had reached a dead end, so I was trying to take my eyes off Slavia and kept gazing under my feet, up in the sky, or ground. You know, I'm pretty sure you'll also be fine. Slavia looked at me thoughtfully. Now, what was that for? And what was that also about? Thanks, I mumbled. But what do you mean? I suppose that you happen to be too pessimistic at times. Isn't that way too, straightforward? Maybe, but you're gonna be alright. Maybe. After this conversation, I felt ill at ease. On the one hand, there was nothing special in her words. In general, almost any person in Slavia's shoes would come to a similar conclusion. Nevertheless, I felt, and not for the first time, like she could see right through me. So, let's get to cleaning. Uh-huh. She smiled and took the broom. I never thought that cleaning could bring such a deep pleasure. No, I wasn't upset because of this conversation. On the contrary, I was glad to hear that from her. For the first time ever, somebody was discussing my life without criticizing me, without giving any stupid advice based on their own personal experience, without intending to go through my head, and without making some far-reaching conclusions. I was just glad that somebody supported me. No, that's not quite right. I was just glad that Slavia supported me. Nice. In a short while, the music played around the camp, calling us for lunch. I put away the broom with a sigh of relief and a sense of accomplishment and went to the canteen. Who is marching forward in a row? It is our pioneer squad. Pioneers in a row usually march to the canteen in the Sovyonok camp. I was looking for a place where no one would disturb me, like what happened before, just so I can eat in peace. And for that, I have to at least not be the last one to come. But I was pretty sure whatever happens here happens whether I want it to or not. The canteen was crammed as full as an egg. Olga Dmitrievna was standing at the entrance, guarding it like a hawk. Well, Semyon, were you working hard today? Hard enough. Well done, truly well done, and the hardest is yet to come. I just bet. Fine, take a seat next to the girls. She pointed to the table next to the pillar. Slavia, Olyana, and Lena were already sitting there. Not bad company. At least not the worst. I got my meal and went up to them. Oh. Alright, well, after lunch we gotta go find Xenia. That's good for now. Okay. Bye!